Good morning, everyone. It's great to see you. Greetings from the city of Helsinki, that is really not so far from here. I came here to speak about the change that is happening in the city of Helsinki and in numerous cities all over Finland and all over Europe and all over the world today, this day. My slides actually disappeared on the way here, so now I'm just going to concentrate on the things I really the most want to tell you. I thought that I wouldn't myself speak so much about the smart buildings themselves, because probably you are better experts in that. But my aim is to describe somewhat the change that is happening in Helsinki and in other cities, and also the goals and targets, how we are going to build the city, how we are going to decide the goals of the city. One, and perhaps the thing that most shapes the development in Helsinki and in many other places at the moment is the growth. Helsinki is growing rapidly. Espoo is growing rapidly. Vantaa is growing even more rapidly. And the capital region of Finland is not even the place in Europe where the pace of the growth is the fastest. Oslo is growing more rapidly than Helsinki. Vienna is growing more rapidly than Helsinki. Stockholm has been growing more rapidly than Helsinki. The city of Helsinki made a decision of its master plan roughly a year ago in the city council. And as we are in Helsinki now, 640,000 inhabitants, the estimation is that in the year 2050, we would be at least 860,000 inhabitants. So although the pace of growth, it's not perhaps like in 70s in some places, but it's still estimated to be a fast one. And the growth of the city, of course, means that it's a huge infrastructure project. It's a huge building project. At the moment, the capital region, Helsinki, Espoo, and Vantaa together, we have promised and we have agreed with the state of Finland to build in 4 years 16,000 new apartments, 16,000 new flats. So, and it's more than we have been used to do. So it means that there is need for different kind of innovation, different kind of solutions, new kind of thinking when we are doing that, because it's really worth much, and there's much work needed. These 16,000 flats, 16,000 apartments that we have now agreed to build, and there's an agreement with the state, it's more than the previous 4 years was the promise to do. And at least my personal estimation is that that probably the next 4 years after this period, the promise will be even more. The second thing, next to the growth and this huge building project, that I think is worth mentioning, and also that affects both the atmosphere and the possibilities of the city, is the age structure, the demographic facts that shape the cities at the moment. There was an article in Helsingin Sanomat about who is the most typical figure who would be the most typical person in the whole of Finland, and who would be the most typical, most common or most average person in the city of Helsinki. And the most typical person in the whole of Finland was a woman who was 68 years old. And she was living somewhere, I think it was not too far from Kuopio in Savo. And the most typical person in Helsinki was a woman of the age of 26. When I first learned the most common age cohort or age group thing, I learned it from one of the civil servants in the information center in Helsinki. And then it was that the most typical person in Finland was 67 years old, and the most typical person in Helsinki was 27. It was not long ago, and already now the situation has changed so that the most typical person in Finland has aged 1 year, and the most typical person of Helsinki has become younger for 1 year. And of course that means that the growth of the city, it comes quite much from young generations who grow up in the cities, and also those young generations that do move from abroad to cities, and those young people who move from elsewhere in Finland to the cities. And of course, this also shapes what we can do, where we can invest, how we can create solutions, because it means that there will be educated workforce in Helsinki, in capital region. It certainly means that there will be a lot of people whose lifestyle will be somewhat different than the most traditional lifestyle in Finland has been. So I would say that this gives us edge and potential to to do something new, to create something new. The third thing that I would mention as the most important shaping both the city of Helsinki and the other growing cities in Europe is an obvious one. It's our commitment to Paris Agreement. It's the rhythm and actually even scary rhythm by which the climate change is happening at the moment. And in cities, of course, it means that we are key players. We are really the key solution in tackling the climate change. Helsinki city's new mayor, Mr. Jan Vapaavuori, just published his proposal for the Helsinki city strategy for the next 4 years, and there the climate targets were fairly clear. One target is that in actually 13 years, by the year 2030, Helsinki should get to the target of reducing the CO2 emissions by 60% from the year 1990. At the moment, we are in a situation where we are, if we take that path, we are in -25 at the moment, but we should get to -60 in just a bit more than 10 years. And the second target was that Helsinki should be carbon neutral, should reach carbon neutrality by the year 2035. So it really means that things will have to change, and we will have to do things differently and faster, be able to create faster changes in our emissions, in energy efficiency, in traffic as well. We will have to be faster than we have been in past 20 years. And I do think that we do have the technological ability to do that, but what we need is actually to getting things done. Cities can set clear targets, and then we need a whole bunch of people, companies, civil society, active citizens to form together the action that actually we can reach these targets. Then perhaps as my experience from the city of Helsinki, the city of Helsinki has already for some time has the clear willingness to be the test bed or the platform where the best solutions can be tried out. They can even sometimes be failed in Helsinki, and we would not be sad about that, but we would rather encourage to learn from those failings. And of course, we are willing to be a test bed or a platform where successes can be made. We have had this thinking for some time. One of the most clear examples where we have executed this policy consciously has been the project of Smart Kalasatama. Kalasatama being one of the regions, one part of the city where we are building really fast, and where we have consciously wanted to invite everyone to try out things, to be smart, to be edgy, to be a forerunner, be it energy efficiency, be it smart ways to manage energy consumption, but also be it different kind of social innovation. And my experience from Kalasatama would be that when we test things, when we want to be smart, it's not enough to have the technical solution. And I'm not saying that because I wouldn't respect technical innovation. I do. But quite often, if we really want to get things happening in a city, if we really want to change how things are done, consumed, also if we want to change people's lives and behavior, we need such solutions where you have actually lawyers, judicial expertise, we need social expertise, how to get people with you to do things in new ways. We need commercial expertise, we need those people who can sell solutions when they are tried out and actually they are really good. But if you don't have anyone who actually goes out and sells it, the innovation itself can just be sort of one-time miracle. And in the current proposal for city strategy, there is clear willingness in Helsinki to expand. It's also, we were part of creating the Smart and Clean Foundation for the capital region. And in the new city strategy, we want to be even more consciously, even more systematically, we want to be the place, the platform where new ideas, new solutions, new technologies, and new commercial innovations, as well as citizens' innovations, can be tried out. And we really do believe that Helsinki is a good place to try out things, to be on the edge. Helsinki is it's a functioning city. It's a safe environment to do things. Helsinki hopefully is a place where it's easy to communicate and agree upon things with the whole civil service machinery. So we encourage everyone that be brave and come to the city, try out things, because there's really this huge building project, infrastructure project that is happening at the same time than ways we think of things, ways we live and behave change really rapidly, partly because of the changes of the world, partly of course because of the digitalization, and we do believe that things that are tried out in Helsinki probably are such that then you can go out and sell them in many other parts of the world. Thank you.